Hi, this is Clay Richardson, Chief Accelerator with Digital FastForward and your Innovation Leadership Coach. And today, I wanted to share with you a big idea. It's not just a big idea, it's really a challenge that I've seen as I've been working with innovation leaders in our Innovation Leadership Coaching Program. And specifically, what I want to share in this big idea is that design thinking plus low code equals innovation nirvana. And the underlying idea here is that these two practices, design thinking and low code, were meant to go together, right? And when they're practiced together, they allow you to deliver on innovation outcomes very quickly. This idea for this focus came from some of the conversations that I had with different innovation leaders as we were going through our Innovation Leadership Coaching Program. And what I heard from these leaders was they were making really good progress with design thinking and being able to create ideas and get teams to come together, ideate, and come up with potentially breakthrough ideas, right? But the challenge that I heard was that they struggle to quickly translate these ideas into real prototypes, meaningful prototypes. And one innovation leader in particular shared with me every time that he would come up with new ideas, do a design sprint or do a design thinking session, he'd come up with all of these really great ideas, and then he would go to his technology partners, so if you think is the application development team or IT, and say, hey, I have these ideas, can you help me get started with them? And maybe build out a very simple app initially. And in most cases, he shared that IT or the application development team would say, oh, this is a great idea. Let's bring in our enterprise architects, or let's bring in and start looking at how do we build the solution and scale it out over the next 6 months or 12 months. And this innovation leader, he was really hoping he could just create a very simple, very fast prototype that was one step above a low fidelity prototype. And when we think of low fidelity prototypes, those tend to be the 4-point storyboard or some very, very simple mock-ups, right? That are just drawn on a piece of paper, just very simple mock-ups. And what he was hoping to do is just go one step further to be able to create something that users could begin to interact with. And this is a little bit different from what we normally see with traditional design thinking. With traditional design thinking, build the low fidelity prototype, use that as your essentially as your way to validate the idea. However, a lot of times when you have an idea that is digital, you also want to be able to find that medium space, right? Where you can build something that's very easy for users to interact with and for you to get some feedback, but also is very much throwaway. Once you've invested, let's say 2, 3, 4 weeks in building out an app, it becomes less of a prototype and it becomes harder and harder to throw that away. And so this is where low code comes in. When you've done your design thinking session, what we suggest and the feedback that I gave to this innovation leader is to use a low code platform to do the next layer of low fidelity prototyping. And what this gives you is the ability to build out your prototype in 2 to 3 hours. But it's a prototype that the users can begin to see and interact with. And so the low code, for a lot of you, most of you, I imagine, are familiar with the term low code. It came onto the scene about 4 or 5 years ago. And actually, I played a key role when I was at Forrester in launching this concept and even coining the term. Me and my colleague at the time at Forrester, John Reimer, did a lot of research around platforms that allow non-developers to build applications and build fairly sophisticated applications. And when we did the research, we walked away with an understanding that there are application development platforms out there that can be used by non-developers. And at the same time, when we were researching this concept of low code, I was also researching design thinking. So it's interesting that those two things, those two worlds really complement each other now. After 5 years of initially me being a part of that research and launching that research around low code and design thinking. And it's matured over time. And so my recommendation here is really the action that you need to take is to begin to add low code practices and tools to your design thinking toolkit. And we use a platform, Pegasystems, has a low code capability for doing next level of mock-ups, prototyping, simple flow. So you can build simple applications right after, and I should say prototype applications, right after you finish your design sprint, or it's a part of your design sprint or design thinking session. And the key here is you can build over a day or a half a day, or even a couple of hours, but whatever you've built, you can continue to build on, right? But it's also able to be thrown away. So you're not investing so much time on a single idea that it becomes mandatory that you move forward with it, right? The whole idea is to use this as a sandbox that you can play with ideas, but build it out so that the users can get a feel for it. And it also helps you build momentum. The key here is that I want you to not feel stuck when it comes to translating your ideas into applications and getting rapid feedback. And so it's so important to be able to have a way to take that leap from we had a great ideation, we had explosive ideas, or explosive, as I call it sometimes, explosive innovation, where there's some really just fire, amazing ideas that you want to move quickly on while there's momentum from your stakeholders. And so using a low-code platform like we use with Pega is a great way to get that explosive ideation. And there are other platforms out there, full disclosure for everybody. You know, Digital FastForward is a Pega partner, Pega Ventures partner. So Pega's invested in us as a partner that helps Pega customers and prospects drive innovation using design thinking and low code. But there's other platforms out there. And I recommend finding the platform that works for you in terms of how you're ideating and just beginning to use it, right? It's not about just saying, hey, this is the one platform. Find the platform that works for you. We happen to use Pega because it can scale out very rapidly if an idea has success. And that's something we see from time to time is a team may start with an idea and it builds momentum quickly, but then when IT is ready to start engaging, it needs to be scaled out. If you're not using the right low-code platform, it can actually slow down that scale, right? Because you have to switch to doing hand coding, and that's not really where you want to be. And so my belief is, and I want you to believe this, right? I want you to adopt low code as part of your design thinking toolkit and really believe and know that you will be at least 3 times more effective with your ideation if you use low code to make your ideas real very quickly, okay? And so this is the big idea. To start today, don't wait, start now, where you're embracing combining design thinking plus low code to achieve innovation nirvana, right? Just that speed of innovation, getting things out quickly, translating those ideas into workable prototypes that you can get feedback from your users very quickly. And so I want to just share also before we wrap up, we have our next cohort of the Innovation Leadership Program, our Innovation Accelerator Leadership Program, spinning up in the next few weeks. And so I strongly recommend, if you haven't reserved your seat yet to be a part of this program, please click on the link that we'll provide to submit your application. And we're gearing up. We have a good group of innovation leaders coming through on this cycle. And so the program isn't just about hearing me talk about innovation and giving you guidance on becoming an innovation leader. That's a big part of it. But the other part is connecting with peers that are really working and trying to get the same outcomes for innovation as you. And so I strongly recommend checking the program out, applying to the program. And as part of your application, we offer a complimentary one-on-one coaching session. So before you even start the program or before you even make a decision about, is this program right for me, we offer a one-on-one complimentary innovation strategy coaching session. And so when you fill out your application, our program coordinator will reach out to you to set up a time for that one-on-one. And I'm really looking forward to hearing from you, but also hearing feedback from you on how you're beginning to apply design thinking with low code and hearing your stories about achieving innovation nirvana. And so with that, just want to say happy innovating. Just stay focused. Keep on your game plan. Keep on your playbook. And signing off for now, Clay Richardson, Chief Accelerator with Digital FastForward and your Innovation Leadership Coach. Thank you.